Hey guys, Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com, bringing you a video today to discuss the Dybala boot situation. A lot of you guys have been asking me about this over the last couple of days, so I figured I'd make a video sharing my thoughts and trying to clarify some things that are a little bit confusing about what exactly has happened, or at least things that people don't necessarily understand all that well. So what's going on? Dybala is a player, 23 years old, he plays for Juventus, and recently he has been put in the spotlight because he had a very big game against Barcelona in the Champions League where he scored 2 goals in a 3-0 result. Juve kind of shocked the world in that game. It was surprising enough that they beat Barcelona, but to beat them 3-0 with a 23-year-old scoring 2 of the 3 goals, again, it was a big deal, and that's why there's been a lot of attention on this guy. Now, doing that alone is enough to put the spotlight on yourself, but he did this wearing some pretty interesting shoes, which is why the boot world has kind of gotten really excited about this whole situation. So for those that don't know, in this game, and what he has been wearing for the last couple of weeks, I would assume, his contract with Nike ended in February of 2017, so about a month ago now. And ever since then, he's been wearing Superfly 5s, but completely blacked out. Now, in this game against Barcelona, he was wearing the blacked out Superflies, but they had a white logo on the lateral side of the upper that wasn't a Nike swoosh. He essentially rebranded blacked out Nike boots to actually put his own logo. That's what was on the side. That's what that little white thing was. And it's kind of an interesting way of doing things. It's actually pretty smart. Normally when you see a player black out their shoes, the reason why they're doing that is because they are out of contract and they don't want to advertise any company for free. Obviously he was under contract with Nike and he was wearing Superfly 5s while he was under contract, and clearly he still likes the shoes, which is why he's still wearing them just blacked out. But instead of just completely leaving them blacked out, he decided to put his own logo on there just as kind of a marketing aspect for himself, his own brand, which is actually, again, kind of a neat idea, but I'd be curious to know what Nike thinks about that whole situation. I'm not sure if there's any legal ramifications to debranding somebody else's product and then putting your own brand name on it. I'm not sure if that's allowed or not. It probably is. There's probably nothing wrong with doing it. But again, it's kind of an uncommon thing, which is why a lot of people seem to be confused about what that logo actually was. It's his own logo, not the logo of another brand. It's not a rebranded Nike shoe with an Adidas logo or something like that. So if that's what you were thinking, don't worry, that is not the situation. So anyways, he's out of contract. He's been wearing these blacked out shoes that happen to have his own logo on them. Obviously something that he did. Why isn't he signed with a brand now? Why hasn't he re-signed with Nike? Is he switching to Adidas? Is he switching to another brand? That's obviously something that we don't know as of right now. But if you are asking the question, why hasn't he signed with anybody as of yet? His contract ended in February. Why didn't somebody sign him right away? That's probably because not necessarily himself, but likely his agent or his manager is trying to work on some kind of a better deal for him. Because obviously the better deal that he's going to get, the better deal the manager or the agent is going to get as well. They get a cut of everything, not just salary, but any kind of endorsement deal as well. And this is going to end up being a really smart move in terms of waiting, because right now this guy's stock, scoring 2 goals against Barcelona in the Champions League, is as high as it has ever been in his career. So right now, if he is renegotiating with Nike, that's probably very likely. He's probably negotiating something with Adidas as well. He's likely talking to Puma. He's likely talking to a brand like Under Armour. There's probably a lot of different boot brands interested in this guy as of right now, especially being 23 years old. He's a young player. Obviously, there's no guarantees that he's going to turn into any kind of superstar like Messi or Ronaldo. This could just be short-term success. But again, he's young, he has a lot of potential, and that's the kind of guy that any kind of significant boot brand or any brand that's interested in growing is going to want under their company as kind of a key marketing element, if you will. So what his boot switch is going to end up being is not necessarily the case of, oh, he likes Adidas shoes more than he likes his current Superfly, so he's going to start wearing Adidas shoes. It's going to be whatever company ends up offering him the most amount of money to represent their brand. How long-term will that deal be? I'm not really sure. Obviously, that's something that they have to negotiate on their end, but it definitely is a very interesting situation. And I'm curious to see what's actually going to happen. Again, the personal preference aspect of this isn't all that interesting, but the business aspect, the fact that his stock went from being here to here in a single game just because everyone knows his name now based on that one single game, I think that's a pretty interesting thing. And that's not to say that Dybala has not been a notable player up until this point, but when you score in the Champions League against Barcelona 2 goals in a 3-0 effort, the world takes note. So like I said, his stock has been raised significantly ever since that performance. Will he be able to maintain that level? Who really knows? He's 23 years old. It's really too early to say. It's kind of a risk for any brand, but I think it's a risk that most brands are going to be willing to take, depending on how much he's actually asking in terms of endorsement deal money. If he quite simply wants too much, I could see a brand like Nike saying, hey, we already got Neymar, we already got Ronaldo under the brand, we already have all these big name players, we don't necessarily need you. You can go somewhere else if they're going to offer you so much money. Here's our deal. Take it or leave it. I would assume that's probably what's happening with Nike right now, which is why he didn't immediately re-sign. So it's probably very likely that he's going to switch to another brand that's probably going to offer him more money. Nike might change their mind now based on this whole situation and his popularity growth, if you will, over the last week. But again, only time will tell. We'll just have to see once he starts wearing unblacked out shoes. Nonetheless, that is what the Dybala situation is all about. Hopefully that explained it for you guys. If you enjoyed this video and perhaps want to see more videos talking about this kind of thing, be sure to support it with a like. Again, if you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments, and I definitely will get an answer out to you. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all of my social media information linked down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.